Hi everyone. Today we're going to be watching a video about the Nazca Lines. The Nazca Lines are one of my favorite things that we learn about in ancient civilizations because I love learning about the history of things that are just still somewhat of a mystery, because instead of being told the answer, you're kind of left to try to think about why this might have occurred or how this all happened. So let me just give a quick introduction before you watch the video on Edpuzzle. All right, so the Nazca people thrived on the southern coast of what is now the country of Peru in South America from around 200 BC to 600 AD. They lived in a desert region near the Andes Mountains. You can see that the Nazca area is circled in green there. It's a desert. The green is just because all the civilizations on this map are circled in green. Like I said, it's a desert. It's near the Andes Mountains. They did not leave very much behind, so we don't know a lot about them. The two main things they're known for are, first of all, they had very sophisticated underground canals to manage the irrigation. So if you can look at this picture on the right, those spiral holes that they built, it might look like the spiral thing is a ramp or like a staircase, but it's actually about funneling wind into their canals that are underground in order to move the water to where they needed it to go. So obviously that took a pretty advanced knowledge of science to be able to channel wind using funnels that go to underground canals that lead to the different parts in the desert they needed to channel their water to. But the thing they're probably most famous for is the Nazca Lines. So the Nazca Lines are hundreds, or in some cases, some people have said it's thousands of drawings that they made out in the middle of the Nazca Desert near where they lived. Pretty much no one knew about these lines until the 1920s when airplane travel became popular. And one day someone was flying over the Nazca Desert and said, like, "Hey, that looks like a monkey. How is that possible?" And then researchers started heading to the Nazca Desert and studying these lines that were mostly forgotten about by history. So they made these lines, as you can see in some of the pictures. The sand has like some iron in it, which gives it a little bit of a reddish color. So by digging like a couple inches into the ground, they're able to dig up some of like the white looking sand beneath. And so by digging these like really shallow trenches, they could make these white lines that can be seen from an airplane or from space. Some were just kind of cool geometric looking designs, but then they have a lot of shapes. Like you can see here, this is a hummingbird, this is a spider, and this is a monkey with a really curly tail. Some of the lines, like I think that the hummingbird one is one of the biggest ones, and it's up to a half-mile long. So like just picture like the size of Patterson Park. So I hope you're asking two questions: how and why. So as far as how, I don't know if anyone has ever tried making a drawing while your eyes are closed, but it's really hard to draw something if you can't see what you're drawing. So in order to make these really intricate, I mean, look at the legs on the spider or the wings on the hummingbird or the tail on the monkey. In order to make those really intricate designs, they must have had some pretty advanced math to be able to figure out like how long should this line be, because again, they can't see what they're drawing. And then the other question is how, or sorry, is why. Why would you make like a work of art that you can't possibly see? Because again, airplanes were not invented 2,000 years ago. So I'm sure you can figure out that many people have speculated there's a religious reason for it, because maybe their gods could see the drawings even if they themselves could only see a line in the desert. So here are just some of the other images, although you're going to be watching a video, so you'll get to see plenty of what they look like. You can see the tree, the giant, the pelican, the dog, some hands, which don't really look like hands to me, and then a flower, and then you can see there's a map there. So again, I just find it really fascinating. It's just such a weird episode in history that we don't totally know much about. So I hope you enjoy the video, which explores a little bit more about them and what they could mean and how they were discovered.